like I said, I just ignore it and move on.
It's not a bird, it's not a plane, it's Superhero Slate. It's a modern podcast where we talk about everything that's great, like movies, TV, superheroes. It's Superhero Slate, oh yeah.
Hello everyone and welcome to Superhero Slate, the show where we run down the latest superhero entertainment news.
We love TV, movies, and superheroes, so let's talk it all out.
My name is Chris Dillard.
And my name is Mike Royer.
And this week, we're using our WandaVision to see a clear 2020, Mike.
Oh, man. I feel like you were sitting on that one for a bit.
It actually worked out after, like, the third workshop, so I feel good about it. We're buckling up to head into the Clone Wars one last time.
Chris is excited.
We're talking about how Deadpool can possibly fit into the MCU for his threequel, and more.
Yeah, welcome to the first news episode of 2020. Hopefully you listen to our predictions for the next year and the next decade. I feel like I've already forgotten what my predictions are for the most part, but I feel like if they stay true, they'll pop back up again along this next year or next 10 years. So we'll see how strong our predictions are, Chris.
And how I guess strong the past 5 years of this show have been, and all the stuff we did in the past 10 years for superhero movies. We had a lot, and I think we're just going to have a lot more. Judging by 3 weeks worth of news here we've got to go through.
Yeah, it's a good thing that we took a little bit of a break, because usually at the end of the year it's a little bit slow with news, so we kind of slowly collect it and we build it up to kick off the year. But we are at the very beginning of 2020, so things will get a running start. I mean, I'm surprised we're going to talk about like a promo for Disney Plus here in a little bit, and usually people aren't promoing stuff until like the very first full week of the year, so there's no more rules.
No more rules on the internet. Time doesn't stop. The internet never sleeps. It's like if New York was digitized, Mike. That's how I envision the internet.
Yeah, it felt very strange because Thursday and Friday in the United States technically weren't holidays. So people were going back to work. Some people were getting back into the swing of things, and I was just like, I feel like I was in this nebulous zone of just like, I don't know what day it is anymore. We're starting a war with another country. What's going on? It's not even Monday yet. So I feel like I don't have my 2020 sea legs yet. I feel like I'm still in a 2019 purgatory.
Well, I will tell you, I've seen this float around on the internet quite a bit. If you're going to write the year anywhere, write the full year this year, because if you put 20 instead of 2020, anyone can change that date to like 2010 or 2017 to change your date. So there's my life hack for the year.
Yeah, that's my wife told me that yesterday, and I was surprised I didn't think of that. So unfortunately, the first rent check of the year, I think probably just has a /20 on it. So we'll have to trust that nothing happens there. But really, if you changed it to an older year, it just looks like I was really prepared to pay my rent. So we'll be all right.
I think you'll be all right. Yeah. I don't want to. We've got a lot of news here, so I don't want to linger too much on the holidays. Because we've all done a lot over the past couple weeks. But I got to give a shout out to most of my family giving me steelbooks for Marvel movies that I did not have. For my collection, I have all but one at this time. And do you remember which one I don't have now, Mike? Of the 23 movies?
Oh God, I don't think I know.
It's Ant-Man.
No.
Because Ant-Man came in a black Blu-ray case, and I've never seen a black Blu-ray case before. So I forgot he's kind of in there, and that steelbook's way too much out of my price range to pay for it, to just upgrade it. But on that note, all these steelbooks came with digital codes, and I'm feeling generous this year, Mike, for our fans, for our listeners. And I'm gonna just give these out at the end of the week before the next episode to people. And there's really no contest here. It's more of just me wanting to give you codes, but B, most of these movies are gonna be on Disney Plus anyway. So if you don't want them, you don't have to message me. That's fine. But send me a message on Twitter or Instagram. I will take them in the order they are received. And let you pick, and I'm just going to send you what's available, and you pick what's available at that point, because I don't know what I have in terms of codes. If you want some extra, what I'm calling Chris cred, share our episodes, get on your Instagram stories, on your Facebook feeds, on your Twitter feeds, because we put them out whenever the episode goes up on Mondays. So if you want some Chris cred, do that. But I'm going to give out some steelbooks because that was one of the biggest presents I got this year, and I've already got all the Marvel's movies codes, so I can't use them. I'd rather spread the love. For 2020, Mike.
What a generous man. And you know what? 1 Chris cred is equal to 1 street cred. It's actually an even conversion. So if you're looking for more street cred, you got to get some Chris cred. And trust me, if you come across a shady looking person in an alley, just pull out your phone, show them Twitter, and just be like, "Hey, look, see, Chris sent me 1 Chris cred. You have to let me through. You can't steal my wallet."
Exactly.
So there you go.
Exactly, and you're lucky. It's an even ratio right now. I don't know how the economy is going to go this year, so get them while you can. Get those Chris creds while you can. Put them in the bank. Invest while it's hot. I'm sure it's not as volatile as Bitcoin, but who knows? Yeah, I couldn't tell you at all. So so we've got those. I'm going to be giving those out. Mike, any highlights from the holidays you want to mention here? We talked a little bit about it, I think, on our other show, our surprise show. But I mean, if you want to, I want to make sure you have.
Chris,
my
gift to you this holiday is the perfect segue, because what I did over my vacation, over my break, was I binged watched the first 8 episodes of The Witcher.
Okay, and you did this because I told you to, or because you really wanted to? Okay.
At your behest. No, I was going to watch it, but when you said you wanted to talk about it on the show this week, I was like, all right, well, it sounds like I got to get to watching. That was just a couple days ago, so it's an 8-episode first season, but these are pretty hefty episodes, I would say, in every definition or in every category of how you could put it. But they are, I think the shortest episode was 45 minutes, and beyond that, they're pretty much all over an hour, at least by a minute or two.
Yeah, and I will tell you, this is one of those, and I got this experience watching it with my wife, is that you don't want to be on your phone while these are going on.
Yes, I was going to say the same thing. This is an incredibly lore-dense show.
And I will tell you, this is not a spoiler, but the episodes don't take place in order. For reasons, and but like you will be confused as hell if you watch the first episode and then you didn't pay any attention, and then the 5th one comes on, and you're like, what is going on? Who are these people? Where am I? What did I miss? We're trying not to spoil or anything, but you got to watch this show.
Yeah, it takes a little bit of it takes a little bit of attention to watch it. Sometimes you're watching like a really smart comedy where you got to pay attention so you get all the jokes. This is where you got to pay attention, or you just won't understand where the story's going. Chris, spoiler free, what did you think about The Witcher?
I mean, I got it done like 2 days. I had a really good time with The Witcher. I've not played the video games, and I know this is based on the books. I was kind of not sold on the Henry Cavill, the white hair. We've talked about that, months ago when they were filming this, but I think, light me up online if you want, I think this is a better Game of Thrones than Game of Thrones at the end of the day. I think I love the I could see some of his video game stuff in it, like whenever he does like his little force pushes or whatever, and it's like a game. He's cracking open vials of stuff and drinking them. I really enjoy, again, there's 3 main characters, Ciri, Yennefer, and Geralt, and I really like their stories, and I'm trying to say spoiler free here. It's very hard to, I want more. I'm ready for season 2, Mike. I don't know about you, but I mean, this really was a fantasy series that was fantasy, had creatures, because he's a creature slayer, and had a lot of great things to it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'll have to say I'm glad I didn't read any of the reviews or the reactions out there online before I watched it. I had seen people like memeing it and doing like some fan art before I got around to watching it, but I guess the critical reception to the show hasn't been very positive. I don't know what the exact numbers are, but after watching it, I was pretty positive on it. I was like, this feels like a good start. This feels like a good place to kick off this Witcher series. I wasn't head over heels for the first 8 episodes, but I thought I had a lot of fun, a lot of really fun lore to really sink your teeth into. I think episode 3 is my favorite episode, so if for some reason you're wavering on the first 2, at least stick around and watch through episode 3. You have some really fun there. No spoilers, but he is a monster hunter, and I really like the monster that's in episode 3. It kind of it has this interesting balance of kind of like a monster of the week, but also with more of a through through line of a narrative. So I kind of like the formula that they're dealing with.
Well, my favorite thing is and I don't think it's spoilers. Like, it is a monster of the week, but the real monster is men. Humans are the monsters in this.
As it always is.
Yeah, it's like any other show. Like, yeah, I'm a monster hunter, but guess what? Humans are really the monsters here. So I think that was really fun. But there are a lot of. I mean, it's if you're an impatient TV watcher, I agree. Like, this isn't for you.
It's not quite like watching Mad Men. I couldn't get into watching that show because it's incredibly slow. But I mean, it's won like Emmys and Golden Globes and all that stuff. So I know it's a good show. I just couldn't quite get into it. But The Witcher is my it's at its best, I think, when he's actually doing the monster hunting against them. So I'm hoping season 2 we get to see more and more monsters. Henry Cavill is one hunk of a man, that's for sure. And I was actually surprised that for a female showrunner, he's not as shirtless as I thought he would be. But
the women are.
He's in very, very tight pants, and there's a lot of there was one shot that it felt like a dude shooting a woman walking down a hallway. So if you're a female out there and you like Henry Cavill's butt, you're gonna see a lot of it. Or if you're a dude out there and you like Henry Cavill's butt, you're gonna see a lot of it in tight pants. So yeah, I think this is a good starting off point. Like, if I had to grade it, I would say we're looking in like a B minus, but still, I had a lot of fun, and I think the grades can improve. I want this child to do some more studying, and I think they can get to an A next semester, would be the way I'd put it.
And I think the people who read the books understand it a little more. I think the problem is, in the books, you don't meet Ciri until like Act 3 of like all of the books. So if they did it by the books, it would literally just be the Witcher, like season 1. In season 2, possibly 3 would introduce Yennefer, and then like season 3 you'd finally get Ciri. So like they've taken some liberties with the books to make this work. And if I'm again not a book reader, I think it works out. So
yeah, and heads up, we were talking about it earlier in a group chat, but on the PlayStation Store, The Witcher is on sale for like $15. The Witcher 3. So I have no idea how the games stack up to any of this, but if you wanted to continue your Witcher adventure, you can do that with the video games. But yeah, I would recommend watching The Witcher. It's fun. It's a long 8 episodes, so you're looking at about close to 80 hours, I would say, but it's fun.
Yeah. Also, The Witcher 3, I think it's free on Xbox Game Pass.
No,
if you have that. But I had to look this up afterwards. But it came out like 2015, and I'm like, that feels like forever ago now. Like almost 5 years this game's been out. But they're doing the was it the Cyberpunk 2077 with or whatever it is with Keanu Reeves in it. So
okay,
same company. Very very excited for that. But yep, Witcher was up there. Also, in the time that we've been gone, Mike, The Mandalorian has wrapped up as well.
Let's not do this anymore, Disney Plus. No more season finales when people are traveling for the holidays, because I had to watch this on an iPad, which wasn't the worst thing in the world. It was an iPad Pro, so it was a slightly larger screen, but I would have preferred to watch it on a bigger TV. But yeah, let's not do that for the next season.
Yeah, I think it had to. Not necessarily sync up, but it's working with the launch of a service. What do you do with the this is when the service launches. You have 8 episodes. Here you go. But at the end of the day, Mike, I know you've had some complaints. You said the middle felt slow. Do you think those middle parts finally paid off in the end of this show?
Well, yeah, I don't know if I would necessarily say slow. I would say the middle parts of the show feel more like an adventure of the week, like kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon serial, where it just didn't interact very much with the narrative. I just was wanting the narrative to continue. So luckily the narrative does start to push forward more towards these. I would say the last 2 episodes very much feel like a part 1 and a part 2.
Right.
So I'm glad that we kind of moved the story along, got to see some familiar characters again, but I would say they did a good job. They did a lot with 8 episodes. Everything looked great. It was very much a premium streaming show. I would love to see the budget for this show. I'd love to know how much Disney put into this to make sure that people felt like they were getting their money's worth once they got Disney Plus. I'd be very curious to see
What's
that.
great is the marketing had to have been free with the Baby Yoda memes.
Oh man, yeah, and Baby Yoda. I'm really curious if
We know he's
show,
the child, people. We know he's not really a baby version of Yoda. Just before people come at us.
Yeah, like what? I'm curious. What do future seasons of the show look like if Baby Yoda's not attached to it? I would. There's an episode. Do we talk about spoilers or not? I don't know what to do here.
I would say maybe not. That's tough.
I'll do
like 3 weeks.
I'll do spoiler light. I'll do spoiler light. So
jump
there's
to
an
the
episode,
time codes if you want to skip over.
Yeah, I mean there's a episode where they're kind of doing a jailbreak situation, and Baby Yoda isn't very much in that episode, so you can kind of see how Mando could operate without Baby Yoda in an episode. But I'm glad that it seems like Yodes is going to be moving forward with the next season.
Mm-hmm.
So we got some really cool action in this very last episode that was directed by Taika Waititi that started out very funny too.
Yeah, Jason Sudeikis is one of those people who voiced one of the stormtroopers, which I didn't know that till afterwards. People were saying so. Taika Waititi is in there. All the characters I think finally coalesce in these last two. Like you said, it didn't feel like thing of the week, right? And they all came together. There is one episode I will tell you at the end of episode 4 or 5 on Tatooine. There's some boots and a cape that walk up on the dead body of the lady who plays Agent May in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. They never touched on that again. Who is this character? Is it Boba Fett? Is it the guy from Breaking Bad, who is also the villain here? And there is, if you've been online and if you're listening, you've probably seen The Mandalorian. There is an item that appears at the end of this that I think ties us into the Clone Wars and Rebels more than you would ever know, Mike.
Is the item you're talking about a weapon?
Yes.
Okay, the weapon was totally new to me. It looked pretty cool. I'm assuming it was an attempt to create something that the good guys have that the bad guys also wanted.
It is, in fact. Okay, this is full on spoilers, but if you're listening to it, hopefully you've watched it. It is called the Darksaber. The Darksaber is a black lightsaber made by the first Mandalorian Jedi.
Oh, whoa!
Back in the history, this was then passed along to Mandalore in the Clone Wars. There's a character called Pre Vizsla who was actually voiced by Jon Favreau, who directed The Mandalorian. And then in Rebels, which is later, this is passed on to one of the main characters, Sabine, or I think the name's Sabine, who then has it and like commands Mandalorians with this. Like whoever has it commands Death Watch, which is a group of Mandalorians who saved the Mandalorian in his flashbacks. That's that group. So this all ties together through Rebels, Clone Wars, and even Mandalore.
So I'm guessing that saber moment would have been a really big deal for people that understood that lore. To me, I was just looking at it like, oh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah,
that's
exactly.
A pretty, rad
it works
sword.
both ways there. But Dave Filoni, who used this in his other two shows, is also working on this show as well. So I think it's just Star Wars TV is always very connected, and that pays off for it in the end. But why do we got to wait a year for season 2, Mike? That's the thing. Like, I think the show did it end really on a cliffhanger, I guess. I mean, he left his people behind, didn't he? It's just him and the baby going forward.
It seems almost as if the status quo has been reset. Mando is back with Baby Yoda out on an adventure. Maybe I don't even know if you could say there's less of a threat following him now because the bad guy is still alive, still chasing him, but maybe Mando thinks he's taken care of. So I guess his goal is still to find a home for the Baby Yoda. So we'll have to see where that goes.
I think we're gonna find the name of the species in season 2. I think it's gonna be revealed. And I will tell you, I mean, the bounty hunter guild is no longer after him because he saved Carl Weathers. So now it's just the remnants of the Empire are after Mando. Yeah. I have to say one thing that's great about this show,
the the vertical integration of it all is, since it's a Disney property, it's not going to be cut out from underneath the show creators. So it seems like we'll get a definitive ending for The Mandalorian at some point in time. It's not just going to be canceled. So I'm curious if there is a longer arc planned already. So maybe the series does end when Baby Yoda is finally returned, and who knows, maybe it's 4 seasons where that happens. So, and since he's 50 years old now, he's probably not going to visually change that much by the end of the series, unless they age up Pedro Pascal to be an elderly man. So
yeah,
we'll see how it goes. I'm imagining there's some sort of shot already planned where they land on the Baby Yoda planet, and we get to see people that look like Yoda, see people that look like babies, middle-aged green elf creatures. What do they look like before they're wrinkly and after they're babies? So who knows how long we'll have to wait for that. But
I will tell you right now, season 2, we're definitely getting spoiler territory here. There are reportedly feature characters from the big screen films who are going to make appearances in season 2.
Okay.
Who is that? I don't know. But knowing that the main bad guy at the end of season 1 is a Moff, like Moff Tarkin was, worked for the Empire. The rumor is that this Baby Yoda species will tie into the Emperor's return for the newer movies. That because they're trying to use the Force from this child, figure that out to pull back the Emperor. I don't know what the thing is, but
that would be funny if they find a way to retcon one of my biggest problems with The Rise of Skywalker, with probably one of my favorite Star Wars properties in recent memory. Like Jon Favreau's like, don't worry, I'll fix it with my TV show.
Yeah. So I mean, we do have 20 something years of stuff to play with here. And that's just what the rumor is right now. We don't know. I mean, they're already working on season 2, fall 2020 on Disney Plus. Tune in, I guess, when it comes out. I don't know. Well, I mean, I don't know what else to say about season 2 other than I'm excited for it. And I think we're gonna see those prison people come back in another episode. The Bill Burr and his crew of villains.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, we'll do that. But the Clone Wars, if you haven't watched it, again, I always recommend it. It's all on Disney Plus right now. You can go catch them all 6 seasons. And season 7 is set to debut February 17th on Disney Plus, the last season.
You and your loved ones can celebrate pre-coital after Valentine's Day with the 7th season of the Clone Wars.
Yes. Do you mean post?
Yes,
pre?
post.
There you go. It's fine. I'm not gonna hold that one against you. But that means, is it weekly? I assume so. Disney Plus tends to be a weekly thing, so tune in every Friday. It sounds like, or whatever day that is, to catch new Clone Wars on the final season. Gives you some time to catch up on it. I think I might do it. I've seen them all a couple times. I might do it as background noise. So.
Well, I like streaming stuff when I'm working out because it's hard for me to commit to music or pick music ahead of time. So I just put something on the TV. So maybe I'll start watching the Clone Wars while I'm working out.
Yeah, with those new headphones you got, just pop those in and listen to it streaming. So Clone Wars season 7, it's February 17th. In a surprise move, Disney Plus threw out a upcoming 2020 shows. Which featured, some quick stills featuring the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, Mandalorian season 2, but they confirm that WandaVision is now a 2020 release, not a 2021 release.
Heyo.
And then they had another, I think, tweet later that definitely confirms that this is 2021 WandaVision. So I know this show's in production with Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I'm happy they've moved it up, and I think I don't know what that means for story-wise. Is this a Feige plan? Is it going to change anything else? Because Loki was originally scheduled before this, but I know it's probably not in production yet. So will Loki get moved, or is this just to help alleviate the time so we get something new Marvel every week? Kind of thing?
Well, did we get any confirmation on WandaVision's episode order? I know we're probably ballparking between 6 and 8, but I know something has 6. I don't remember what it was though.
I think they're all 8, but I don't know. I think Loki might have had 6.
Well, either way you butter that bread. If WandaVision's getting moved,
it's 6.
Yeah, if WandaVision's getting moved to 2020, I'm assuming it's going to be at the end of 2020, like talking winter. And even though they consider Disney Plus launching in the fall was November, which is strange to call November fall, but maybe Mandalorian will actually be coming out in the fall for season 2. So as soon as we finish that 8th week of The Mandalorian, maybe we'll start the first week of WandaVision.
So where do you think Falcon and Winter Soldier will fall then? Do you think they'll not have any Star Wars Marvel overlap?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like it's in Disney's best interest to, if there's going to be overlap, it would probably just be 1 week, just to kind of kick something off and then start something new. I'm curious what they're going to do day-wise. If they do overlap, do they just launch both of those episodes both on a Friday? Like, is Friday Disney Plus's day? Is that just the streaming day now? Because that was Netflix's streaming day for a while. Now Netflix just has so much stuff. You will see stuff come out outside of Friday.
Netflix's Friday, I think, works for the binger, right? Because you binge it all over the weekend and then you talk about it Monday at work. With the weekly stuff on Marvel, they could literally do any day and probably make it work.
Well, I mean, I just did some very simple math here. I mean, if you divide 52 weeks by, 8 episodes, you need roughly about 6 original series to fill out your entire calendar year.
And they do. We're just not watching all of them for the show. If we go Star Wars Marvel, they need that many. Sorry.
Yeah, and you can probably cut off like 2 weeks at the very end too, because like I said, I don't want to have to watch anything while I'm traveling for the holiday break. So that would be my guess. Mando in the fall, then follow up with WandaVision.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna go. I think Falcon Winter Soldier it's less effects heavy. I mean, right? They don't have real powers, right? They're just he has a flying suit and a metal arm. So I think that's going to be done first. Star Wars will be second, then WandaVision, unless they totally ignore Star Wars and like that's a different audience, and do Falcon Winter Soldier straight into WandaVision, and Mando's just like in the middle of both of them.
Whoa, that'd be cool.
Because again, there may not be overlap. For us, there is, and I think there's going to be a lot of overlap. But I'll take either one as well. So. On that note, and then the Disney Plus realm of these shows, Moon Knight is rumored to be looking to cast Daniel Radcliffe as Marc Spector, the main role.
I feel like what I've seen recently from Radcliffe is very humorous stuff. Obviously, he was a very somber character as he grew up in the Harry Potter franchise, and we knew him to be very emotional in that series. But he's been in a lot of stuff that's very comedic recently. So now I only know like current older grown up Radcliffe as like a comedy guy, which is kind of strange to think about. So now I'm trying to like dial it back in my brain to be this like brooding Moon Knight character.
But he's brooding when he's wearing the suit, but if he's got multiple personalities, there's got to be humor in there. Like in his head, he's always dealing with like, is he like a little girl today, or is he a mercenary person? Who's taking the front role of that?
Not saying Radcliffe couldn't do it, just trying to envision it in my brain. But this is kind of interesting casting. Like they have said a million times, Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, these streaming shows, these are going to be integral parts to the MCU. These are big deals. These aren't just throwaways. Basically doing everything they can to say this isn't going to be another Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. So Daniel Radcliffe, that's a big get, I would say.
Yeah, get him in on the TV show, bring him in the movies later. It's good. There's also rumored that the show will feature Dracula, as well as Werewolf by Night, as we talked about before. So these rumors keep coming up in different circles as the show progresses. So maybe this will introduce us into that, and Moon Knight will pop up in Blade as his first.
Oh, I love that idea, man. It does seem like they're moving towards that direction, right?
Yeah.
They cast Mahershala Ali, a huge actor, like we said. That's a big get right there, to play this beastly universe character. So yeah, if we get Moon Knight up in there, who else can we throw up in there right now? Maybe like Doctor Strange.
I mean, for like beast stuff, I mean, Doctor Strange, I think, is, like I said, it's a little tie into WandaVision. Like that the magic makes sense there, and I think Loki as well. For this, I would say, I mean, there's if you're gonna do Ghost Rider, this is your chance to do Ghost Rider. I mean, Marvel, they took it down at TV. Why did they turn it off on the TV channel if they don't want to put them in the movies? Mm-hmm. So bring Ghost Rider right into this. Maybe Man-Thing as well.
Ooh, that would be fun.
Things that we don't know. Maybe Howard the Duck. No, not Howard the Duck. He was interdimensional. Him and Man-Thing had a Marvel Zombies series all to themselves where they went around to different universes. But yeah, I mean, they're gonna get spooky. But they're filming Moon Knight at Pinewood Studios. Daniel Radcliffe also makes more sense as well because that's in the UK. So, any thoughts on Moon Knight? That it?
Moon Knight. I'm ready for it. I want to see if they do that Moon Knight helicopter.
Yeah, the moon. Well, they did the Thanos helicopter. I agree. Maybe we'll see that in the What If series with the Thanos copter. The season 1, this was some of the oldest news we have on here. Season 1 will be 10 episodes long of the What If series. Many people assumed there were going to be 23 episodes, one for every movie, right? First season, 10 episodes long, and they're already working on season 2, so which will include more of these shows. So, it sounds like they're just going to make a bunch of episodes, just release them in batches of 10. It sounds like I'm on board for that. I mean, I'm looking forward to this show. This is gonna be a fun playground, and this was stuff that people were always hoping that they would get, but it never really made sense in the MCU. So right, this is where imaginations can run wild. Captain Carter is the first episode, and Feige did say that this animated thing is longer than most of the other MCU Disney Plus shows, which makes sense because I don't want 10 episode shows anymore. 8 is a perfect number. 6 probably even better. So I'm very interested to see what the other ones are. I know, like, so we got Marvel Zombies coming. What was it? Black Panther is Star-Lord.
I feel like this one is kind of insulated from maybe a longer episode order being draining because these are going to be just like kind of standalone episodes. It would be cool if maybe they found a way to bring them all together, but I think they're just going to be one-shots. They're going to be one-offs. So theoretically, it could be 20 episodes long, and I could just kind of watch the episodes kind of whenever I wanted,
I think it's going to tie in somehow because, they've got I want to call him Bernard, but that's his name in Westworld. Jeffrey Wright. As the voice of the Watcher, and they're saying that this is part of the MCU. So I know they're just using the voice actors and the characters from that. So maybe at the end of it, like this character, the Watcher, ties into the end of Phase 4. Multiple. I mean, Doctor Strange is dealing with multiple dimensions. Maybe they'll CGI the Watcher, but they'll keep Jeffrey Wright as the voice going forward. As someone tying into something larger.
That's an interesting idea. I forgot about the Watcher component. But do we know when What If is going to land on Disney Plus? Any idea?
It was after, I believe, the WandaVision, but before Hawkeye. So it's. I mean, everything's coming out within 2021, so we have 2 years. It's within 2 years of this. So I assume probably summer of 2021.
All right,
but they also announced this before we had Spider-Man 3 on the calendar, which is summer of 2021. So we got a lot coming, man. This is we got a lot on the list. And if that's, you think they're gonna do batches like 2 a week for What Ifs, or do you think they're gonna do 10 weeks long of What Ifs?
I don't know. That's the big question because I feel like that's gonna be my new catchphrase for 2020. That's the big question, Chris. Because you could say this is going to skew towards a younger audience. I would say just because there's just some adults out there that just don't watch animated stuff no matter what it is. So it makes me wonder, maybe they would release these possibly earlier in the week for the younger crowd. Friday night kind of seems like a time for adults to stream stuff. So maybe it could be twice a week.
I'm thinking, maybe not twice a week, but like 2 episodes, like drop 2 at once if they're not like the full hour shows. Like. Here's a half-hour or 22-minute cartoon.
I don't know. It seems like it's still right now in Disney's best interest to do everything once a week because then everything just still seems fresh. You're not burning through your catalog. Maybe in a couple of years they could start dropping stuff twice at a time.
Again, they are just not superhero stuff.
Oh, yeah, exactly. So I think they'll stick to once a week. Okay. I mean, I don't think there's any reason to change it right now. It's been working for HBO. So
right. I could also see them maybe doing the first couple, like the first 2 or 3. That way it's still like an 8-week release schedule, but like you get 3 at once. Like, was it Runaways did that and some other TV shows do that? Like, Here's your early sample. Bite onto these 3.
Yeah, I mean, they did it with Mando, the first 2 episodes on the first week. I think that was more connected to the release of Disney Plus in general. So, yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Otherwise, that other one would have come out like on the New Year's, and you'd have been so mad that you missed 2 on the. You had to watch 2 on the iPad.
No.
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna call him up. I'm gonna call
this
him.
ain't Quibi. I want to watch this on my big TV.
I'm calling Bobby, Bobby I. See what he says. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, again, the first show to come out next year, supposedly, will be visiting the city of Madripoor. Are you familiar with this town?
No.
Okay, it's an island of Southeast Asia, and it's home to criminal X-Men. Like, in the comic books, Wolverine spent, like, a decade here or something under the name Patch. Like, this is very, very X-Men heavy. Like, this is in so many X-Men books. So they're already bringing these things into subtly.
This is crazy. I mean, is this what they're going to do? Are they going to introduce mutants this quickly already in a streaming show? I mean, maybe that's the way you do it. You know, we've talked about it on the show a million times, how they should introduce the X-Men. This might be a fun way to start percolating the idea. Maybe Falcon and the Winter Soldier are trying to catch down, track, run down somebody. I mean, we know it's going to be Baron Zemo's in it, but maybe Baron Zemo is starting to collect maybe mutants. Maybe no one's calling them mutants quite yet. Maybe no one really knows what it is, but Baron Zemo knows he needs some sort of superpower to go against these people, and maybe he's heard of this.
Also, Madripoor, since it's run by criminals, there's no... it does not extradite anybody in the comic book. So, like, villains live here because they're safe. So what if again, they could have superpowered, like C or D tier mutants guarding Zemo because he's there now because he can't be pulled back to America to answer for his crimes. Also, Madripoor, I mean, this is a fun fact, was featured in the Hawkeye book by Matt Fraction, which the new show should be based on. So maybe they'll tie that in there somewhere as well. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe we could be stretching a little bit much. Maybe Madripoor is going to be used just as the idea of a sanctuary for bad guys, and obviously they have to send in secret agents like Falcon and the Winter Soldier to slip in and get Zemo out because he's escaped from prison, obviously somehow. And then I don't know. Who knows? Maybe later after mutants are introduced, maybe just naturally, if there's a bad guy that's a mutant, it would just go where other just bad guys are in general, which would be Madripoor. But yeah, I do kind of like the idea of slowly seeding the idea of mutants. Yeah. Maybe that's the season finale cliffhanger of Falcon and the Winter Soldier, of like somebody has mutant powers.
Is this where they introduce Wolverine as the character Patch, and you just don't know it?
That would be insane, just because you would be totally rewriting the lore of Wolverine to make that work, which ultimately that might be of something you have to do just to fit Wolverine into the MCU, because he's a legacy character that's just been around for so long. But if mutants are new,
but maybe it's not new. Maybe he's just been living there for years. I mean, it's not rewriting, because I mean that is part of his history. We just never touched on it in any other movie. But
yeah, but if he's been living there for years, are you saying just the character of Logan has been there and he doesn't have his powers yet?
Well, he could have powers. I don't know. We're just going to see. So I guarantee we see someone with an eye patch, and we're all going to think it's Wolverine. That I think or they're going to reveal someone with an eye patch at the end, and it's going to be maybe Wolverine. I don't know. There's an idea here, because Chris Claremont's Wolverine series in the 80s. Like, was here the entire time that series went on. So
I feel like if you want to slowly introduce mutants with a character, I feel like you don't have to go super niche, but I feel like you got to avoid the big characters. Like, I don't want to see a scene where somebody picks up a metal spoon without touching it, because it's just like, no, we've had plenty of Magneto. I'm almost thinking like maybe use a character that is an X-Men but not as like forefront. Maybe Beast. Maybe somebody could just be a scientist that like after they or yeah, it could be Juggernaut. Maybe after
it's gonna be villains. That's what.
Yeah. I'm still pushing the theory that when people came back from the blip, some people were mutated. So maybe they're just like, yeah, I came back from the blip, I thought I was fine, and then I turned into X, Y, and Z, and now I can do these things. So I think that's going to be the direction they go.
I think that's too blatant, because every time I think, oh, this is what Marvel's going to do, they fucking slap us in the face and we're looking the other way.
I mean, I would welcome a surprise. I mean, being right isn't always fun just because you see it coming a mile away.
And I think that's what they try to do is make us think we're going to go one way and not, because I remember predicting Infinity War and Endgame, we were way off on both of those. So
I mean, they could do exactly what a comic book fan maybe would want them to do, and maybe Wanda, like I think you've brought this up before, Wanda does the opposite. She doesn't say no more mutants. Maybe at the end of her streaming show, she creates mutants with some sort of strange wish or something. Who knows?
Yeah. I mean, Phase 4 is only 2 years long, and we're in one of the 2 years, so we're gonna see some stuff happen, I think, and X-Men could be one of those in the show. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., like you mentioned, is ending the final season this summer, and season place looks to be taking partial place in the 30s. I thought this was the 20s. I'm like, oh look, they're 100 years ago, but it's apparently the 30s.
I mean, I watched the premiere of the previous season, or the second to last season, and I didn't continue on from there. I mean, just because there's so much out there to watch. You know, I fell off of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. so many times now, so maybe I'll get around to it eventually. So the last I checked, Coulson was dead, and the actor was playing a bad guy that also looked like Coulson from another dimension, I think. So is Coulson a good guy again? What's going on here?
It's not him. It's got like a new Coulson with the memories of the old Coulson. Is how I think the other season. I didn't watch it either not because I don't like S.H.I.E.L.D., but like you mentioned, we are in a world where we can literally not watch the things that are mediocre or bad anymore. Like, we have so many good options. We don't have to watch the mediocre things. So I think the last season's now on Disney Plus. I can crank through that pretty quick and get there. But I mean, 30s time travel. They went to the future for one season of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Now they're going back to the past. So how will they end up? How will the show wrap up its inconsequential run at the end of it, Mike? I don't know.
I mean, I don't want to make some purists out there start cringing at me with their entertainment, but maybe it wouldn't be a bad idea to have that 1.5x speed option on streaming services, because if I could watch a 40-minute episode of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. maybe in like 25 minutes and pretty much get all the information and just everybody's talking a little bit faster, maybe that's how I would prefer to watch it, because it's just like I just want to know what happens. You know, I don't necessarily want to commit all the time to it.
Right. Well, because it was only like a 13-episode season, I think, right? Last season?
Yeah.
Which is great, because when it was 23, I was like, God damn, these filler episodes. Pretty rough. So maybe 13 is not too bad. Maybe I can... I remember watching the first one, so I only got 12 more to go. That's not bad. I can do this by the summer, Mike. It's like a New Year's resolution, right? I'm just gonna put
consume
it on
more media.
Consume the Shields, because I stuck with it. I've stuck with it since it started, and I didn't give up. That's fine. However, you may have some more choices coming up, Mike, because Fox's Marvel movies are starting to make their way to Disney Plus in the U.S. now.
Yeah, I saw this.
All the X-Men ones are pretty much everywhere else but here. However, they have gone ahead and added the second Fantastic Four movie, Rise of the Silver Surfer, to our catalogs here in the U.S.
I'll put my tinfoil Silver Surfer hat and shout a conspiracy theory here where... this is stupid, but maybe, like, are they testing the grounds to see what the appetite for the character of Silver Surfer is? Because this does seem like an odd addition to add to the catalog, you know. Who knows? Maybe this is just, we're beefing up the catalog, we're putting in literally whatever we can whenever we get the rights back to stuff. Because I saw an article the other day where just when you thought they had owned stuff, it goes back to other services, because now the Home Alone movies have exited Disney Plus, even though those are Fox movies and Disney owns Fox. Yeah, because there's still these legacy licensing agreements that have to end. So I believe Home Alone will be coming back to Disney Plus, Fox, Disney permanently whenever that licensing agreement is over. I don't know what that date on that is. So maybe this is just Fantastic Four. Like, yeah, the licensing agreement's over. We can just slap it on the service.
Well, that's exactly what it is, because the original Fantastic Four is surprisingly on Hulu, which is also owned by Disney, but is shared with Starz. So when Starz is up, it will come back. I guarantee you it'll come back here. The same. I don't know if anyone wants to watch the 2015 Fantastic Four, but it is on DirecTV as well. So for streaming. So if you really want to suffer through that thing, I forgot the first Fantastic Four, or the newest one, has a 9% Rotten Tomato score, which is about 8% higher than I expected at the end of the day.
So if I go on the I'm in the Disney Plus app right now, and I'm in the Marvel section. So this is just all things Marvel. And I'm just curious, like, it seems like the Silver Surfer would have to be in this section, right? Because it's a Marvel movie, or are they considering this like a Fox movie?
Well, they don't have a Fox section. I think it's under Marvel.
Which is just, I mean, I guess Marvel, in my head, I was thinking the Marvel section was very pure, but really if you go in it, there's a bunch of odds and ends of animated stuff. There's like shorts, but I can tell you right now, just scrolling through these couple of sections that they have, Marvel Through the Years, they have a Spider-Verse section, they have a mini adventures section. I believe these are all curated and they're featured. I'm not seeing the Silver Surfer in any of them. So I guess technically it is Marvel, but they're just not putting it in any of the featured categories.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, I mean, if you go through some of the stuff, again, they have both Fantastic Four cartoons in here under the series and specials. If they're going to include Inhumans in this, they can put any fucking Marvel thing they want in here, because that thing's awful. And I love Black Bolt. So yeah, if you just do a search, probably if you go through what do they have, I mean, if you click movies, probably. I've got the web version pull up here, just kind of.
The Marvel section's going to be very confusing in 20 more years when there's even more movies. So it's just like, wait, Dad, which Silver Surfer movie do I watch? Which Fantastic Four movie do I watch, Mom? Do I watch the 2014 one? Do I watch which one am I supposed to watch?
I think you don't give anybody credit in that. Like, you just assume they're stupid. But I think they'll figure it out. But, like, you know, this is a streaming service. While we wish it was a purist streaming service, they'll probably make playlists. I mean, they've made playlists on here, didn't they? On the home, if you go down and click, The Simpsons has it. The Simpsons predicted the future. They have a whole playlist dedicated to this.
I mean, that's a feature that I think Netflix still needs to make a playlist. Yeah. So that'll be helpful. Disney will need that.
Yeah. So I don't know exactly where to find it, but I know it's in here. So if you want to catch that on there, I think the X-Men movies are next. I think once those rights are cleared up in America, wherever they may be, we'll see them in here as well. But if you want to catch Rise of the Silver Surfer, what's his name? I can't think of the actor who plays the Silver Surfer. He's in every Guillermo del Toro film because he's always in makeup.
Are you talking about like the tall, skinny, lanky guy?
Yeah. He's in the Halloween movie with the three witches, and now I feel dumb not thinking the Sanderson sisters. Hocus Pocus. He's the boyfriend who gets brought up and has this mouth stitched. He played that guy as well.
There you go.
But anyway, but speaking of things, New Mutants, Mike. I know you don't think this is happening, but guess what? Trailer tomorrow.
No.
At 6 a.m.
No. This is impossible. You're lying to me.
Nope. And the 6 a.m. time was confirmed by a post from the New Mutants Twitter account not 3 or 4 hours ago.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait to watch this. I gotta know what they're doing. Like, is the tone of the movie changing? Are they going to change the story at all? Are they just going to try to pivot as far away from Marvel as possible?
This is the original movie, per Josh Boone, who tweeted that the trailer was coming Monday as well. He said, this is the original movie I filmed. No alterations is coming out, and the trailer for it is coming out this Monday.
Well, that makes me think if the director is saying this is the movie I intended to make, that makes me think that maybe Marvel doesn't care what this movie is because it's not going to affect anything that Feige is creating or putting on his whiteboard. So Feige's probably just like, yeah, just do whatever you want. It doesn't matter. We're sorry to say this. You're probably not going to be making another one, but you know, we like you as a director. So now that you're in the Disney family, maybe direct something else in the future for us.
Put them on a TV show later. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, they get big directors to do hour-long
I never thought about this outcome, to be honest. I never thought like this could free up Marvel and Disney to let them do literally whatever they wanted with this movie because it's going to be a one-time thing. So, man, this is going to be strange. I can't wait. I've never been so excited to watch a trailer.
The last X-Men movie from Fox, The Remnants, is still coming in 4 months.
Chris, I have a question I have to ask you. So people out there might know that Chris has a Plex server that he's been very, very nice to share with me. And I have to ask you, why is Dark Phoenix on your Plex server? Do you want to rewatch it for some reason?
Completionist. I'm a completionist.
Okay.
I own Apocalypse on disc for my collection, Mike. It's a completionist thing. I have to have it. You asked me this while I have hundreds of Funko Pops around me.
Well, it just seemed like you just wanted it digitally available to stream on the go, in case you wanted to get a little bit of Dark Phoenix while you're waiting in the drive-through line.
If you go through a lot of that library, there's a lot of stuff on there I will never watch. But again, I share this with a few select people, and sometimes it's not about me. But I'm a completionist. If I'm going to have all the X-Men movies in a playlist, you're going to have all the X-Men movies in a playlist, Mike. So, the movie is confirmed to have a PG-13 rating, which was, again, initially the plan per Josh Boone, but that also makes it nice and easy if they do want to pivot this into anything MCU related. At all.
All right.
Because
all right.
What if it's this is a multiverse they reference in Doctor Strange as a fun little reference? They got that option now. So unlike Venom, if it goes Venom was R-rated the first time. Venom 2, we'll see what that does. But there you go. New Mutants, Mike. Tomorrow we're gonna have to our group chat's gonna be lit up tomorrow around so 6 a.m. I think that might be Pacific because most things hit 9 a.m. my time.
Yeah, I was gonna say 3 a.m. my time. That's strange.
That's weird. So we'll be talking about tomorrow morning for sure. So I'm excited for that. On top of other things we get to take a look at, Black Widow will get an exclusive look during the National Championship football game on January 13th.
Right.
Not quite the Super Bowl, but it's the closest thing to it. So
yeah, I mean, I don't know exactly what they're considering an exclusive look, but usually when we've gotten like Marvel trailers or sneak peeks during football games, they're usually 30 seconds, but usually they're a consequential 30 seconds. There's something in there that you can actually take away from it.
It's too early for ticket sales. I think it maybe lead to an online full trailer.
Possibly. I'll look forward to this. Noticingly, this isn't the Super Bowl that we're talking about, so maybe Marvel is going to bring, or Disney is going to bring something else to the Super Bowl.
First look?
Yeah, maybe the Eternals. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Ghostbusters trailer too, just because that seems like something the boomers would like to see.
But that's not Disney.
During their football game. Yeah, but just trailers in general.
I can't wait to. I mean, that's probably going to be our next episode. I think we're going to get a confirmation of all these football trailers now that the playoffs are going on. We're going to see that, especially I think the Patriots lost yesterday.
Yeah,
everyone was up in arms or something about sports ball. I don't know. But the trailers are coming. I need to start making my plans for my snacks and how I'm going to watch this starting next
snack
week.
Plans. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do a free trial to some sort of something. Or what I should just do is I really just need to buckle down and just buy a digital antenna for my TV, because this is all just on like local channels. So
yeah, exactly. I'm actually I've written a commercial that will be in our local Super Bowl this year on the local channel. So I'm very excited about that. Yeah, moving up in the world. Chris. Moving up. Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness, it will, according to Kevin Feige, will feature new MCU characters making their debut, and he says we will not expect or guess who they are. So I assume anyone magic related is out of the norm here.
Okay. New MCU characters. It makes me think that I don't think Feige would, stretch the truth just to kind of get more out of it. But
he did tell us the name of Endgame wasn't said in Infinity War, and they said Endgame. So I don't believe anybody now.
Okay. But I mean, he might just be saying we're going to make new characters that'll persist beyond this show. So he might not be saying, oh, we're adding like new superheroes to this show and you'll see them fighting again. It could just be like, oh, the next door neighbor that lives next to Wanda, maybe she's going to show up in another show, or she's going to be a more persistent character.
Well, if they're making their debut, I don't think it'll be someone that we saw in WandaVision. I think you know who I think this is? Namor, which is our next topic.
Do you really think that, or were you just looking for a segue?
I'm actually really think this. Because there are rumors that, we've had multiple rumors of Namor the past 12 months or more, right? Is he going to show up in Black Panther? Was that little underwater earthquake in Endgame a reference to Namor? He's actually, Atlantis is featured on the map in the Incredible Hulk. Or not Incredible Hulk, Iron Man 2. So I think Namor, he doesn't exist in the MCU that we know of. We will probably know about water people after the snap kind of thing. What if this is a chance to introduce a Namor in another dimension?
I mean, he's obviously returned to Marvel because he was a Fox character. I mean, there was I would say that there was some litigation out there who he belonged to, but now it's obvious, right?
No, he didn't belong to Fox. He belonged to Universal because Namor is a Fantastic Four character, but he's also a mutant. But he was also one of the first comic book characters, so he's got like his hands in everything. Marvel did not own the distribution rights for Namor and the Hulk. And the rumor today for this year, since it's a new year, is that they've gained them back from Universal from like 2015 or something like that. This is why Hulk never got another solo film, because they would have to get Universal's approval to do it.
Yeah, I would say Disney, it worked out really, really well for Disney and Marvel that they had to be creative within the box of the characters that they had. Because if the MCU kicked off where they had everybody, Kevin Feige is a great producer, but who knows? Maybe he could have been too overwhelmed and would have been forced to develop all of these really well-known characters ahead of time, and we wouldn't have the MCU we have today. So maybe it's a good thing that Disney just got back these distribution rights, because who knows? Maybe we would not have gotten Thor Ragnarok, which had a great version of the Hulk in it. So all of these rights coming back to Disney now, maybe now is the best time for them to have them. So I'm not sad that they didn't have them for a while. Obviously Namor is very marketable. They gotta be looking at Jason Momoa. They gotta be looking at all this underwater stuff and go, there's money under the surface. There's money on that ocean floor, and we want it. So I guess if they wanted to be unique, that's a smart idea to kick off their Namor on the streaming service, because it sets them apart from DC doing it on the big screen. And they've already said this streaming stuff could make it to the big screen eventually.
This is not streaming service at all. I'm saying he's going to be in Doctor Strange, which is a movie.
Oh, I thought you were talking about WandaVision.
No, Namor will be in Doctor Strange is my thought process. Black Panther, Phase 5. How do we get Namor into this? He will probably work better as a character in another movie than by himself as well. Maybe.
Atlantis kind of, they're doing this thing where it kind of is anchored in our real life, where people think Atlantis like disappeared or got washed under the water. Maybe there was some sort of dimensional thing that happened centuries ago that made Atlantis vanish, and during whatever this multiverse madness happening during the movie, maybe Atlantis is kind of comes back from this pocket dimension, and they're all pissed off because, like, hey, what happened to us? What happened to the world? Everything changed while we were gone, but we're still under the water. I don't know. There could be something fun happening there.
And Atlantis in Marvel Universe was sunk from things that happened by the Eternals thousands of years ago. So we may see Atlantis sink or disappear in the Eternals for him to come back later.
Either way, I like the idea of bringing in Namor, because he's like, would you call him like a chaotic neutral if you were looking kind of at that D&D chart?
Very, very much chaotic neutral, because he will swing back and forth. Sometimes he's on the X-Men, and sometimes he's on the Defender, or the original Defenders team, and then he's like, no, kill all the people on the Earth, like to see people have
he's very much, he's like looking out for his kingdom, he's looking out for himself. He's kind of like a no nonsense type of guy. So I love the idea of this character coming in where like no one's really going to be able to reason with him. You just kind of gotta hope his desires align with what you're trying to do. So I'm really looking forward to this type of character. I hope I think the casting will be really exciting to see who they pick for this.
Yeah, I agree. And then he adds another element of a kingdom. And if we're getting Doctor Doom on a third kingdom, a fourth if you include Asgard, like how many the rise of kingdoms yet again in the MCU may cause problems for Black Panther.
And you know what? When it comes to Hulk distribution, also, I wonder if there was a loophole possibly where Disney Plus could have made a Hulk streaming show. Now, I don't know if She-Hulk is technically in that contract that Universal had, like all Hulk characters, or what exactly is going on there. but maybe Disney was just like, well, if we can't make a Hulk movie, we'll just make a Hulk streaming show. So maybe this helps them get the Hulk proper into the She-Hulk show. I don't know.
Well, no one watched the Hulk movies. Do you even consider watching the Incredible Hulk when you watch your MCU movies?
Well, I mean, there's really not a whole lot of incentive to do it because it's not even the same actors really anymore. The only real carryover is General Ross, right, for the most part.
Right, and because of this deal with Universal, they probably, there's a lot of problems there. So I don't think the Hulk is interesting by himself. I think he works better in a team or a duo environment, much like Thor, like he did in Thor Ragnarok, or how he worked in Endgame.
Well, I mean, what they could do is they could just make another Hulk movie still, and they, like they're doing with all this other stuff, make it a team up, make it a duo. Right. You know, we could really talk about what it's like, Bruce having this power and this dichotomy of being big. And
exactly, but I wouldn't put Hulk in the title and expect it to sell tickets.
I think at this point they can sell anything. I think it would be a nice way to kind of flesh out their title cards when they splash it on a big projector.
But now he's Smart Hulk.
There.
What do we do with it? What do we do with Smart Hulk?
Well, we'll figure it out.
Yeah. So there's a lot more now change than there was before. I just don't think Hulk is the draw, but if they wanted to, they can. So we got that. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. James Gunn's making noise on wherever he is this week, past couple weeks. He said that there will be no new characters added. He has not added any yet to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. They're the same ones at the end of Endgame that they were last time he did this.
Yeah, I think Gunn is very much tied up with Suicide Squad right now, just because you got to follow him on social media, most specifically Instagram, because every once in a while he'll do a Q&A on Instagram. And when I was traveling over the holidays, had some downtime, I was just looking through his Q&A, and he's pretty nice. He says he gets like thousands of questions, so he really has to go through and like filter and do a lot of scrolling to kind of answer.
And they're all the same ones. You know that, like, when do we see the Suicide Squad? When do we see Guardians 3?
Yep, exactly. So sometimes there's really fun gems in there, so it's good to kind of click through. But you do kind of get the feeling that he kind of is getting, or he probably already is really annoyed with the fan base, but he really likes these characters and likes making this stuff, so he just kind of puts up with all of the onslaught of just like, when's the next Guardians movie coming out? Give it to me already. We already know you're doing Adam Warlock. Where is he? Show me Adam. Where's the concept art? Who are you casting? It's just like, he's not going to answer this. He's not going to do any of this now. He's not going to reveal any of this crucial information on Instagram. So I think when I was looking through the Q&A, somebody asked him an Adam Warlock question, and then he said, I never said Adam Warlock's name in the last Guardians of the Galaxy movie. Don't expect to see Adam Warlock. I don't think that's any sort of confirmation that we're not going to see him. I think he just doesn't have the patience right now. He's just like, no, I'm not talking about Adam Warlock. I'm busy making a Suicide Squad movie. It's not even out yet. I haven't even promoted it yet. Wait until my next movie's out before we start talking about, Guardians.
He did put the picture of the third Volume 3 script up once, right? I mean, before he had all the trouble or after he had all this trouble or whatever. So he has ideas. He could be holding them back. But I mean, also at the same time, Guardians 2 ended in 2014, and by the time he gets back to them, it'll be 2023, 2024, whenever the real time will happen again. So, like, what has changed in the galaxy, since then? I mean, he's even got Captain Marvel to play with at this point.
Mm-hmm. It makes me wonder. It makes me wonder how he wants to deal with, like, the time jump. Are all of our Guardians still going to be together when the first scene starts? Or are they going to... is it going to be like a getting the gang back together type story?
They're all together at the end of Endgame with Thor, except for except for Gamora.
But like you said, there's still going to be a time... There's still going to be a little bit of time overlap, because that was 2019, so what, it could be
2023 at the end of Endgame. They jump forward 5 years.
Oh, yeah, they do that. So I guess technically they could do a no time jump by the time Guardians comes out.
They're going to have to go find Gamora, win her back over, whatever. I think this is a chance for them to rebuild the Nova Corps and introduce Nova. I think that's a great idea, but there's a lot of questions about this movie, and he's not going to give us anything.
Yeah, you're going to have to wait. Out. Yeah, just wait until... And Suicide Squad seems to be shaping up really fun.
Yeah. No bad news about that. No news is good news. That's for sure.
I I actually took a screenshot of one of his Q&As from not the most recent one, but it was the one before that he was originally considering Zachary Levi for Star-Lord. And I guess just when push came to shove, they decided to go with Chris Pratt in kind of like the final hour, but he still really liked Zachary Levi, and James Gunn actually recommended him to the people making Shazam. So we can, if you're all Zachary Levi fans out there like I am now, we can give a little bit of credit to James Gunn for that.
Yeah, so a lot of good stuff coming out of there. I'm excited for the next Thor outing, so we'll see how this ties into Guardians. Thor Love and Thunder begins filming this August in Australia if it's not done burnt down by the time August rolls around.
Yikes. I'm on a big Taika Waititi kick right now because I just watched Jojo Rabbit from Chris's Plex server, and it was fun. It was great. I love Taika Waititi, so obviously I'm on board for Love and Thunder.
Yep. Natalie Portman's back. Again, we've talked about it. We want Beta Ray Bill. Is this a chance to bring him into it? I don't know. How do we get Mjolnir back? Because that's what was handed to Natalie Portman on stage, not Stormbreaker. So we've got some options here. So big questions, but if it's filming in August, I think we're gonna start seeing some production stuff sooner than later. Maybe some announcements. Deadpool 3 is in works at Disney, per Ryan Reynolds. I didn't think this was a question. I just don't know what they're gonna do with it. Do they just keep it going the way it has been? I think yes.
Yeah, I think I have the same opinion on Deadpool as I think the last time we talked about it. The only thing that has changed is this has been confirmed now.
Yeah.
So to recap, standalone Deadpool movies, rated R, that's how they should be. Team up movies, PG-13. That's just how it is. That's okay with me.
If they team him up, I don't know if they will. If they do, I don't think they'll do X-Force. But if they do Deadpool 3 and call it X-Force, that'd be interesting. But what's the villain? I think they need to work out. 1 is good, 2 is good. I'm really, really disappointed in Cable in 2. How can they ensure they do something good for the third time out?
He's a third wall breaking character fourth wall breaking character, but he lost the wall when he got bought by Marvel, Chris.
Yeah.
That is just his character down to his very core. So just maybe he doesn't make sense in a streamlined MCU flick that's pushing the phases forward. Maybe if he ends up in a PG-13 Marvel movie, maybe it's just going to be with like a random character. Like maybe he could be in like an Ant-Man movie or something because Ant-Man, Paul Rudd, that character is very comedy based, but I don't think we're going to see him like palling around with like Captain Marvel or anything like that. So just manage your expectations.
Exactly. I mean, he can't break the fourth wall in an MCU movie because then that breaks
the whole MCU.
Yeah, the whole MCU. Now, however, does he show up as a cameo in Doctor Strange going through multiverses?
Yeah, that could be it. Or you have the advantage of a character could show up in his movie and he could still break the fourth wall, and it's okay because it almost just seems like I don't really know how to say it. It's just like it's just a joke. It's a farce, and it's supposed to be that way. Yeah. So don't get your panties in a bunch if Deadpool doesn't show up in the official like MCU timeline. Like, oh, I don't know where to place his movies, and now I don't know my watch order. It's just like just
watch
it.
Deadpool 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. But get Hugh Jackman back for 3. That's what I want to see.
Yeah, Hugh Jackman.
Put him actually in there instead of like cut out of his face.
Do like an old man Wolverine where he's just like in a wheelchair, he can't really fight or something. That'd be funny.
Or don't take the end of X-Men Origins Wolverine and put in the new Deadpool over the old one, like they did in 2, which was pretty funny. But I mean,
what would be really funny? I mean, I don't think the director of Logan would want this just because Logan just ended so perfectly, but I would love it if just in Deadpool's next movie, he just walks up to that pile of rocks and pulls his dead body out of it. That'd be really funny.
Oh, no, he pees on it.
Oh, Kelvin and Hobbes style.
There you go. Yeah, I don't know. There's options here, but it's coming in from Disney, and like I said, hopefully they just keep it the same. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. Venom 2 is looking to add possibly Tom Holland as a Spider-Man cameo in this. Again, we've got Andy Serkis directing it. What's his name? Playing Carnage, Woody Harrelson. Tom Hardy's back. Do they put him in there? Is this one of those things like you were talking about? You can put more characters in an R-rated movie than try to bring an R-rated character into a PG-13 universe. Is this even relevant? I don't know.
This just seems like a juice in the ticket sales to me. Because if it's a cameo, it's, are they gonna put it in the trailer, or would they do it just to sell an extra ticket? I'm more optimistic on Venom 2, like I said before, because Serkis is directing it, but just leave it detached from Spider-Man, just because I just don't like the first one. Make a good movie
first. Don't connect it to something. That's what Amazing Spider-Man 2. My fear is they're going to put stuff in the trailer that's in the end credit scene that's like setting up the next movie where it's Spider-Man and Venom for Venom 3. Like, don't do that. Just hopefully this is just people talking and not anything real.
Yeah, one thing that's great about Tom Holland's Spider-Man movies is, just like I said earlier with Marvel having to be created within a box, we've had previous Spider-Man movies that have used a lot of really popular characters, so now it's forcing Marvel to do things that we haven't done yet, which is great because it's new, it's fresh and creative. That's what gets us Mysterio, that's what gets us the Vulture. I mean, we saw Venom in Spider-Man 3, so we don't necessarily have to go back to Venom right away, or maybe even if ever. So new stuff. I want new stuff.
Yeah.
New.
And Venom has a plethora of options, especially with Carnage. You don't need Spider-Man quite yet. So keep it up. Another Tom Holland news. Uncharted loses yet another director. I think this is like the third or fourth one at this point. Travis Knight, who was doing Bumblebee, he was excited for this, right? But because of the new added Spider-Man 3, Close to Home, or whatever it's going to be called, has to push this movie back, so Travis Knight would have to depart for the filming schedule.
I liked Bumblebee, and it feels like Uncharted has the capability of being a successful video game movie, but also at the same time, if it never gets made, I'm not too upset, just because I'm working my way. I'm almost done with all of the Uncharted games. There's 5 of them. One of them's kind of a spin-off, so I'm just playing the mainline one. So almost done with the 4th game, and they're pretty much movies all on their own. Amazing voice acting, great storytelling, amazing cutscenes. Even like the way that they do cinematography with the gameplay, it's like you're already playing a movie. But the bonus of this was going to be we were going to see like a younger Nathan Drake, I believe.
Yeah, Tom Holland is Nathan Drake.
Of what Tom Holland was going to be. So that could have been really fun to kind of see him learning his basically parkour and climbing skills, I guess. Yeah. That could have been fun. So
the movie's still on. It's just new director.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's what they were saying about Taika's Akira movie, and then that kind of got lost. So
well, it's still slated. We'll see.
We'll see what happens.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's not bad. That's like one of the best case scenarios for losing a director. Not like creative differences. Just like,
I suppose
can't make it work. Have my people call your people. In great news for Mike, the original animated series of Avatar: The Last Airbender is rumored to return to Netflix this year.
Ooh.
It is on Netflix in every other country, I think, but America right now. And they are talking about making it the remastered Blu-ray versions that just came out, being the streaming ones.
That would be ideal. I own the remastered Blu-rays, but as I've said a million times before, I don't always like getting up off the couch and changing discs
you lazy
all the
son
time.
Of a bitch.
So, but also at the same time, I still feel like if you own the Blu-ray, you're probably getting ultimately better quality because you're gonna get compression through whatever streaming service you use, no matter what, in some way. So I would assume if you want the purest version of this amazing series, which I think everybody absolutely should watch, you can buy the Blu-rays, and also you get some special features on there. But Nickelodeon's they've been cozying up with Netflix as of recently because they just kind of signed off on a new deal together. But also CBS and Viacom just re-merged, and Viacom Nickelodeon is a Viacom property. So who knows? I could see Avatar: The Last Airbender coming back to Netflix for maybe a couple of years and then leaving again. So if you are on Netflix and you see Avatar: The Last Airbender pop up and it's in front of you, just start watching it because you might lose the ability if you wait too long.
Well, Netflix is doing their live action series, right? And I was online and I saw the rumored is $14 million budget, we said, for this episode per episode.
Yeah, I mean, if the rumors are true, that's a pretty good number. I mean, that's talking like later seasons of Game of Thrones budget right there. And this show needs a big budget. I mean, this is very much a special effects driven show. You're gonna have lots of very magical sets. The world is very vast. It's a road show basically. What the cartoon is they're traveling all over the place. Every week you're in a new area, and then everybody's got powers. Everybody's bending different elements, lots of fire. There's lightning sometimes, water, rocks moving. So I'm glad if this rumor's true, I'm glad to see that they're putting the money towards doing it.
And have you seen the live action movie?
No. Oh. I'm so torn because I do want to witness how bad it is, but I just don't want it seared in my brain.
Well, I saw it in theaters. I haven't seen the TV show, so I'm in a whole different audience. Like I have nothing to base this on. I will tell you, effects are good in that movie, but effects do not make the movie good. You have to have a good story. You have to have a good. Everyone involved has to be invested in the original series, and I don't think anyone who made the movie was, and it shows. The effects are still good. So whether they put 14 million towards effects, I hope they put a lot of it into crafting the right story and doing everything right, rather than just saying, "Hey, our water and fire looks good." So.
Yeah, and this is almost nearly the opposite too, because the original showrunners for the animated show are doing the live action series, and I would love if anybody else knows if this has ever happened before. I would love to know. So this is almost just like, hey, we've told our story in the medium of animation, now we're going to tell it in the medium of live action, but also I would hope that they mature it up. I think they've said also that they want to be a little bit more mature with it too.
And it can't be the same. If it's just like a recreation of that, like they don't need to be involved, you know? So if it's their story, like what kind of when they jump to live action, what kind of things do they change and how do they make it not essentially a live action version of the
it's going to be really interesting to see what they do, because obviously I'm sure that there are things that they could not do due to the age restrictions, and it was a cartoon show that was being sold to kids, so they could probably do darker storylines, maybe one-off stories where, you know, there's an episode where like they're trying to save a town from being flooded. Maybe before that we see a previous town that was flooded and a bunch of dead floating bodies. You're not going to see that on a cartoon show. But yeah, I'm really curious. Do they follow the exact same story? Where do they deviate? Are they going to end up... Because the nice thing about Avatar: The Last Airbender, it has a definitive conclusion. It's a great thing to watch because once you get to the end of it, you feel great. You've completed this saga. So there is an ending in sight for sure. So... do they change the ending? Do they go off on a different direction? Are they just gonna go on a detour to make the series a little different and then come back? I don't know. I just hope it's good. It absolutely has to be good.
It's only 3 seasons, and each season is a book based on one of the 3 of the 4 elements. So do they do 3 seasons?
Yeah, I mean,
and keep it the same like books kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean there's a little bit of a cliffhanger at the end of the series, but they kind of pick up on it a little bit in the next series, The Legend of Korra, kind of, but not really. So maybe in season 2, it's where the series ends and they keep going on and at it. Well, I don't know. Who knows with Netflix? Things usually don't last more than 3 seasons, and it looks like this series is going to be expensive. Plus, they might be on a timeline of when the rights expire over between Nickelodeon and Netflix.
Well, this wouldn't expire if they make it.
Yeah, that's true. So, it wouldn't, but you know, we'll have to see how the deal goes. But $14 million, that's nothing to shake your fist at.
No, not at all. Especially because they need a win. They need a big win. Justice League has a new name. Not the Snyder Cut anymore, Mike. It's Zack Snyder's Justice League. He made T-shirts, and it said
just release it already. I'm so sick and tired of this.
Once a week, we're gonna have probably some update on this. I'm banking HBO Max. We're gonna get it.
Just do it. 5 months, release it day 1. We'll all watch it again and be like, "Yep, the movie's still bad, you nerds."
This did not change our feelings at all. And we will never get the sequel, the Justice League 2, which was on our calendar at one point and then taken off.
I welcome being wrong. I would love to watch it and be like, oh my God, this is amazing. I can't believe what Joss Whedon did to Zack Snyder's movie. Now let's all hate Joss Whedon even more.
I can't blame Joss Whedon. I would blame Warner Brothers.
Yeah,
they hired Joss Whedon to be like, hey, plug in these holes. Do what you have to.
There's been a tragedy on set. Please help us get the movie out. I really don't think it's changed that much.
Yeah, no, he had most of it done. In similar news, I saw wanting someone to release the Abrams cut of The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh God, yeah, I saw that. I think that was trending on Twitter for like a microsecond.
Yeah, I was like, what is this? Is this just a thing now?
Yeah.
So
what's going on with the world?
I don't know. We'll end our news with some Black Adam news. Apparently, The Rock has been working out for this, but they say that the film is looking to introduce Hawk Girl to the DC extended universe. I like
Hawk Girl.
I think she's part of the JSA we talked about. But her and Hawkman, like they die and get reborn. So if Black Adam's like from the Egyptian era and lives forever, Hawk Girl, you could have different like incarnations of Hawk Girl like later.
Well, I mean, I maybe I'm pulling this out of thin air, but I thought maybe there was another origin of the Hawk people where they were from an alien planet. I could be totally making this up,
but they still like die and reincarnate.
Yeah, but they're just not they're just technically not human.
Because if Black Adam was at the battle in that Justice League versus whatever whatever the ugly gray dude was. And she dies and has those memories over time, and then like now we're in the modern day, or whatever. Like right before, Zachary Levi becomes Shazam when Black Adam goes by. She knows about it. I don't know. Maybe she's a connecting piece to history for the DCEU.
Maybe. I think Hawk Girl's really cool. I like the Hawk people's weapons. They're all electrified, which is really cool. I imagine there's going to be a lot of really cool action scenes there.
It's got to look better than Legends of Tomorrow. That's all I ask.
Yeah, wings on characters. I've always been a fan of wings on characters because I think flight's just a fun mechanic either way, whether it's a video game or if you're watching something. So this is cool. I like this idea.
Yeah, there we go. New characters in the DCEU. Well, Mike, that's our first episode of 2020. Here we are at the end of it. Again, people, I was going to say, message me. Send me a message and I'll send you what codes are available or what movies are available for codes. But, Mike, if people want to listen to our prediction episode that we dropped in the middle of this week, surprisingly, where can they find you at, and that at, and everybody else? I don't know what I'm doing here. Let's wrap up the show.
Well, if you want to catch up with me, all you got to do is follow Mike Royer Design on Instagram and Twitter, and you can read my webcomics at pickledcomics.com. Chris, if people want to catch up with you and try to win a free download code off of one of your steelbooks and get some of that Chris street cred out there.
The Chris cred.
Where can they reach out to you?
You can do it on Twitter, Valdan, Valdan. I don't check that one as much, but I will be doing it probably every day this week to make sure people get codes if they send me messages, or Instagram, Valdan87. Please share our episodes. That's like going to make me even happier to give these codes out. If you get the more people we have listen to us idiots talk about this stuff every week, the happier I'm going to be. But that's the best way. You can also head over to Comic UI. I will say we are less than 2 months away from C2E2 in Chicago. If you're going, hit me up. I want to talk about, help you work your way through it if you've never been. If you have been, make sure we hang out. I'll be there all weekend. So let me know. Mike, if people want to listen to that episode I was just talking about because I jumped the gun there, where can they find that at?
All you got to do is visit superheroslate.com. That is the best resource for this podcast that we make every single week. So there you can get our awesome show notes. Man, we talked about a lot of stuff. We got a ton of bullet points in the show notes this week. So if you want to catch up on anything that you missed in this episode, head on over to superheroslate.com, and you can find us on Apple Podcasts, YouTube, Spotify, and wherever else you like to find podcasts. You can like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, and follow us on Instagram. If you want any merch from this show, you can hit up superheroslate.com/store. We got like t-shirts, hoodies, long sleeves, tees. I think we got a mug over there too. I don't even know
anything
what's going
you want.
on
I got
there.
a mouse pad right here with our show.
Anything you want at superheroslate.com/store. We love hearing from you. Please reach out. What are you thinking about this 2020? What are your superhero worries? What are your superhero delights? We love hearing from you either way. I've had some people reach out to me about my thoughts on Star Wars, so if you want to yell at me about Star Wars, you know where to find me. So yeah, we just love hearing from you, and we love our super fans. So if you want to be a super fan of this show, all you got to do is share the show with a friend. share a show with a buddy, and we will be here every week. Stay subscribed.
Including next week, and we will see you then.
All right, bye.
Thanks for listening, and don't forget to subscribe.
Tooth hurty.
That's when I go to the dentist.